For people who don't know who I am, I've been ThinkBox Software's tech support and pretty much from the beginning for the last 2.5 years. So I've seen Deadline deployed in all sorts of different areas, from single artists to huge companies. So if you've got any questions for me and sort of things like that, you can either ask them during this webinar, or you can shoot off emails to support@thinkboxsoftware.com or give me a call. But this morning we're talking all about Deadline 6.0. And this latest release is pretty major. We've done some big changes, both on the front end and the back end, and a whole bunch of sort of smaller changes along the way. We're going to be talking about those. So the first thing we got through is redesigning an interface. What we did was, for people who are familiar with old Deadline, we used to use Mono's framework and Mono's WinForms framework. And while that treated us really well up to this point, we felt that to progress further, to sort of plan for the future, we really needed a next generation UI toolkit. And so we started looking around, and we ended up hitting on Qt. And so when we started, we wanted to sort of keep what everyone's familiar with. We didn't want to alienate anybody, but we also wanted to add lots of flexibility. So Qt is also more than just a UI, but the thing it also gives us is really good integration into different operating systems. So we can take a look at what we've changed in here. Let's just move out of the way. Go to Deadline Monitor. So you can see here I'm running the Deadline Monitor in Windows. It's sort of a departure from, or a refreshed look from what you might be used to. And so we've got the Windows version here, but I also have in a VM, we've got it running under CentOS 6.3. And you can see that between the two, we switch back and forth, you get the same look and feel across all platforms. Unfortunately, I can't get a Mac OS X VM on here, specifically because of Apple's end user license agreement. But we can play around with this. So one of the neat things we added over the old design was that you can actually tear off pieces and build a layout the way you see fit. So for example, we can bring our tasks down here if you want to get a full view of everything. But I'm sort of set in my way, so we'll stick it over here. I'll just pull it up, put it over. And you can make as many of these as you like. So one of the things that we have, a little bit overzealous here. There we go. We can lock it in place. Come on, friend. There we go. We can lock the interface in place so that if you create a new window, it won't automatically dock. So let's just do that. And so I want to submit a job here. Actually, I've got my job right here. And another thing that we've added along the way is these great charts. So let's just requeue this job. I want to show you what we've got for being able to check things at a glance. Requeue this guy. Let it do its thing. And right now what it's doing is it's going through all of the tasks and just setting their status to requeued. While it's doing that, let's set up another one. So I've got a bunch of different views. Oops, excuse me. We've got a bunch of different views on my Windows workstation here. So there we go. And so, for example, we've got different layouts for. I've custom built different layouts for different views. So, for example, my layout, which will take a little while to repopulate, my layout is sort of how I like it. I sort of do a little bit of everything here. So I need to see job status, slave status, sort of the tasks that are going through, sort of our cloud panel and things like that. So I can watch as this is rendering. And we've got, I've got tasks down there and tasks up here. So if we want to bring this into a chart, we can see the queued status of all the slaves, the rendering status, and as you'll see, as they complete, they'll also be brought in as sort of completed things. So it's nice and animated there. But we can, for example, if you got new artists that you don't want to give them this much sensory overload, if you want to simplify it a little bit, you can just, build these out and save them to disk. And so you can really make it as complex or as simple as you need it to be. That was sort of a big request from a lot of people because for a new artist coming in, they again, you don't really want to give them too much info.